This message is brought to you by Abercrombie Kids, where the activewear is made for every summer activity, so your mini-me can bring their personal best. Summer days are always an adventure, from day camp to rec leagues and pool days. Abercrombie Kids has the shorts, tees, and swim to keep them comfy and keep up with them. Get everything for the entire summer at Abercrombie Kids. Shop in-store, online, or in the app.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
This show is part of the HeadStuff podcast network.
Lovely stuff.
Hey, lovely, lovely.
Tell you what, though, folks, that's bloody nice. That is bloody lovely.
Lovely Holland. Lovely touch. Lovely Holland. Lovely touch.
Hello! And you're very
welcome
welcome
to the lovely show.
A lovely show for you today.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Justine.
How are you, Justine?
Jesus, you know what? It's a sunny day out. How could you complain?
The legs are out.
Well, mine are in,
The
but
bra is
you're
off.
out.
I'm not wearing a bra today. I don't care.
Free the nip. You're dead right.
I'm getting looks from guys. I'm like, guys, get over yourself.
Yeah.
It's 2019.
It's 2025. Okay. I'm back from a weekend on a hen.
I'm back from a weekend on a stag.
You couldn't write it. You'd swear we planned it.
Okay, yeah. Well, how was yours? Anything
See,
embarrassing
this
happened?
is the thing now. This was my first ever hen. So I didn't know what to expect. Because I had a friend getting married during lockdown and we were meant to have the hen, but then lockdown was the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
So in that meantime, I haven't
It's
been...
a digital hen.
It was a digital hen, yeah. So I haven't been to one, so this was the first time I was going to one. Now, the journey there, first off, can I just say, I had to go to Wexford. And I was away in London for a month. So I went home and I was going to bring my car. And my poor little car, I know I was saying last week I'd get a new stereo for
give
it.
up.
I'd need to get a new battery for it because the poor thing wasn't driven for a month and it wouldn't start.
When you say you drive a car, I imagine like a car you'd buy in Toymaster.
Yeah.
Like a little tiny
yeah. What do you call
Flintstones
it?
car.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's my car starting up there now.
Justine's car starting.
Yeah, no, it's powered by my legs, but that's
Yeah,
irrelevant.
like Fred Flintstone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of those. But it's a little 08, God love it, and it wasn't getting any love for the last month, so it said, you can go fuck yourself. So I had to get the jump leads. I've never seen my father so proud that I knew how to use the jump leads. It was a beautiful moment now for me. But in the end...
You put the red on red,
Yeah,
and then you put the other
Back.
two on your nipples,
yeah.
and then you divulge information to the American government.
You do, yeah, and that gets the car going.
That's how the car gets
Getting
excited.
it to stop after that is the problem. But after that, I was like, look, I'm not going to chance driving the car down because I don't want to be on
You'll
the
not
side
make
of the
it down
road.
to Strawberry Town.
Yeah, no,
Wexford.
I'm not. Exactly. So I said I'd get buses, right? Now, I got the first bus from Kells to Dublin. And there was a man on the bus, all right? And there was that much muck on his jumper. You could have planted crops.
Wow. He had a very mucky jumper.
But there was a...
Going to Dublin.
This was what...
This thing is, Justine, when you're going to Dublin, you can't have muck in your clothes.
But you know what? I was impressed by him in one sense. I was like, you're doing your own thing. You couldn't give a shite.
I mean, now there's doing your own thing. There's being an individual and then
But
like literally rolling in shit and getting on a bus.
Here's the thing. He was sadly directly in front of me that the stench. It was the thing that my neighbour used to describe as a dangerous smell. And I couldn't get away from it. There was no other seats available to even move to. And every time he even just turned his head, it would just take
Waft.
over. It would completely consume your nostrils. And there was a sting off of it. But I was like, look, it's only an hour to Dublin. I can make it through. But I was, curious. What was he doing? He got off on O'Connell Street and I was wondering, where is this man going? Is he kind of employed by pubs to sit in?
Guineas, probably. Or maybe the fountain.
I was thinking, maybe there's a job in like, you know, you're employed to sit at the end of the bar when it's last orders and to try and
rid
get
of
people out.
Maybe.
That's a bit there's money in
like
that.
if somebody's been noisy on a bus, you can put in headphones. There's no nose headphones.
You can't. I thought, do I even still have a COVID mask somewhere? I didn't.
Oh yeah.
That would have been beautiful in that moment, but
Two
no.
little corks, like you're in a cartoon.
Yeah, your earplugs up your nose.
Yeah, sometimes you sit beside a smelly bastard on a bus, and like I tend to feel very sorry for them.
I do too.
I was on a bus and there was a very smelly man.
Yeah.
Dangerous smell.
Dangerous smell.
Like Geneva Convention atrocity sort of smell.
You'd be taking the tablets the government sent us out.
And people would come in, sit down the back of the bus and go, oh Lord, no, I'm not sitting here.
Yeah.
And I stayed because
I know.
I just didn't. I felt so sorry.
Here's
for
the thing:
poor
if there
man.
was even free seats, I wouldn't have moved because I feel the exact same way.
I've got a guilt over smelly bastards.
I do. It just reminds me of, you know, I don't know. You'd encounter that at home at times, and you'd be like, "Look, he hasn't." You know, the wife has gone a couple of years now, and he's struggling, and I recognise that
He could have lost the sense of smell.
he could have. Yeah, from COVID, he could have.
Or cocaine. Could have used too much cocaine, ruined his nose.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm not going to hold it against him. But then on the second bus from Dublin to Wexford,
Although to be fair, if there's visible shit on your clothes,
that
it's
was
good,
the thing.
good sign.
That was the
Good
bit
sign you
that I
need to
was
change
like,
things up.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but he visibly could just change the jumper.
We could do like a queer eye for the straight guy, but a sort of like a nice smelling man for a smelly bastard man. I'd like that.
You'd have a lot signing
Some of
up.
the nicest smelling homosexuals in Ireland have to like
yeah.
just go and redress shit covered farmers
Yeah.
from Kells.
Oh, you'd get about 9 series easily out of it. You could.
Can you please stop sending in applications?
Just to clarify, he was already on the bus. That bus comes from Cavan. So I'm not sure where he
fuck
got
off.
it. I'm just saying
He
he was
probably
already
fell
on the
asleep
bus.
on the way down from Dublin, and he was have to stay on the bus to Cavan to get back up to.
I'm just saying I don't know where he came from. But somewhere between Meath and Cavan he got on.
Okay.
And then I
Probably
thought,
Meath.
look at I'm free. And I got onto the second bus down to
free.
Wexford. Holy Jesus. There was a fella behind me. And I honestly was like, when did you last brush your teeth?
Oh, come on.
Like, you know when you're on a Pac Lewis and the morning breath hits you, this was that multiplied by 20. And he kept leaning forward into my seat. And I was like, what is going on? And this was a longer journey.
Breathing through the little gap.
And it made me realise I actually would take the shite smell above
bad
it
breath
because
smell.
this feels, it gets into my head that I'm like, okay, I'm breathing in the particles of whatever the fella ate 4 weeks ago because it's still
Yeah,
on
as
his
opposed
breath
to like
now.
a lovely cow's bottom. I mean, I
natural.
think growing up on a farm, you don't really mind the smell of cow shit.
You get used to it.
And like even I worked in a mart where like sometimes a bullock could move in a bad way and you'd literally get cow shit
Yeah.
splattered in your face and sometimes your mouth.
Yeah.
And it doesn't
Yeah.
bother you that much.
Yeah.
Because it's literally just grass.
Yeah.
Like if a cow was eating a kebab.
Herbivores, you know. Like
If you had
grand.
cows eating like kebabs or yogurts or what else would make bad? Like corn on the cob or something.
Guinness.
Or drinking pints of Guinness, God forbid. Or a curry. That would be
Yeah.
rotten.
A vindaloo.
Yeah. A chicken korma or something.
That wouldn't end well. No. So that one I found more offensive.
Yeah, I could see that.
To the senses.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, after both journeys, made it to Wexford.
Good woman.
And the hen began. And I had no idea what I was expecting, you know, because I'd never been on one. And it was all quite... Now, the rules for the place we were staying in, I don't know what happened there before, but the rules were strict.
What were the rules?
You couldn't even stand on a chair.
What?
You couldn't. They were like...
They literally
absolute
said no standing on chairs. Wow.
I was like...
What went wrong there?
What went wrong there?
Somebody went to make a
You know,
speech.
and we were trying to hang up bunting, and you're thinking, how are we going to...
Yeah.
Jesus, the chair
Has
come
anyone
in.
brought a stepladder?
awful. You're only allowed on it if you're wearing a helmet. You know, so that was wild, but they must get all sorts. But we
Any of the
had a
mad
few
rules?
drinks. General, just like you had to bring out all your rubbish from the house and you had to leave it exactly the way you found it. And I thought, a part of me was kind of like, but are you not paying for someone? Surely there's a cleaning fee within that.
You kind of are. But I mean, there is, as everything in this country, a level. We don't really have sort of, you're allowed to do this and you're not allowed to do this.
Yeah.
We sort of have like, all right, you'll get away with that.
Yeah.
And then, here now.
Yeah,
And then the third level actually is, well, now you're taking the piss.
yeah. You're annoying me now.
So you want to be right between you'll get away with that, and Here Now.
Yeah.
Here Now.
That's the sweet spot.
That's this fucking sweet spot, Justine.
Yeah.
That's where so much crack happens. The
Yeah.
Here Now. Mind yourself now, lads.
Yeah.
You don't want to go into taking the piss territory.
No, because you can't come back from that.
Can't come back.
Once
You ruin
you're
it
in
for the
there,
next lad.
You do. There's a responsibility there. But it was all quite tame, you know. But the effort that went in, I don't know if this happens on stags now, but everyone got goodie bags and they were personalised. It was kind of like the thing you'd get for a wedding itself. Like there was a bag of sweets with, you know, the name of the people getting married. There was a cupcake.
Can safely say no stag has ever done this.
Yeah, there was like a cookie made for everyone that said bride to be. You got a big mug, a big plastic cup, your name on it.
Oh my God.
And that was great because you could put any drink into that and it wasn't see-through. So, you know, throughout the whole day, no one knew what I was drinking, which was great. A lot of people were staying hydrated. I had a different
You could
plan.
have been drinking yop.
I was drinking yop. Absolutely. So that was great. And then we got a little Mickey Fins in each of them as well. Beautiful. And it was fairly tame, like, you know, just drinking and then went out for the night.
Well, do you want to hear what our stag reached the world of Twitter?
Great.
So we went for a stag and we headed around Old Castle.
Oh, lovely.
We rented a castle, which is probably the fanciest stag
Was
I've
it
ever
old?
been on. It was old.
Yeah.
And a woman tweeted about us, so you can read that out there.
Conspiratorial hat firmly in place. I think I just interrupted and broke the spell of a satanic ritual in my tiny rural Irish town.
So,
Holy God.
So we were dressed up as French soldiers from the sort of Napoleonic era.
Oh my God.
And we marched through Old Castle, like blocking traffic.
Beautiful.
And we went on a pub crawl. We went to one pub that this woman, we'd rang ahead and told her, like, here, we're a stag. But, like, we were marching and roaring and presenting swords, like, and stopping traffic. And she barricaded the door. And then this woman came up to us after the pub. We were getting a bus back to a castle. We were going to just go mad in a castle.
Yeah.
And this woman came over. I'll play it for you here. So this woman just sort of came up to us and was like, I'm a retired journalist.
Oh my
And we were
Lord.
like, all right, sound.
I haven't got my gimbal with me. Somebody's wedding, and they're a theatre group, and they're just having a laugh for his wedding.
Which is true.
Yeah, all true.
All true.
Good journalism.
Like, we're all standing across the road, waiting for a bus, eating bags of chips,
Lovely.
dressed like we're in Napoleon's army,
Yeah.
with a French flag and swords and everything. So she comes over to chat to us.
Don't go shy, lads. How you doing? I'm grand. I'm a retired journalist.
Oh, you're a retired journalist.
And use our spectacle.
What else? There we go.
So I understand.
Watch the bus is coming here.
Oh my God, this is making me laugh. You're going where? To the Prover House? Right, is anybody willing to speak?
So we're like, we have no interest in speaking to this woman
Yeah.
at all. So she took that to mean we are a satanic cult.
Yeah, of
And
course.
she was like, she wrote down here, they were nervous to be on camera, and one threw up a satanic hand signal near the end. But like, Adon starts.
Flagging down the buzz.
Philip, I'm a retired journalist, but you were too good to resist. So
Hey! 2 by 2. Give us the morning pint, Phil, again.
So I heard you're celebrating your friend's wedding. Is that right? Yeah.
So then it just descended into
Wow.
us saying, "Where is the butter?" in French repeatedly, and then singing the Owl Triangle.
Wow.
But yeah, it was
That's a different level. We had very different experiences at the weekend. So
Yeah.
yours had a theme, you see.
ours had a theme.
And the theme was satanic rituals.
No, see, at the very end, one of the lads walks past her. One of the lads walks past her.
No.
Oh, there's me. Now what?
There's your bus.
Oh.
That's the devil. No. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. God bless. Bye now. Have a good time. Wow, that was wonderful. Jesus, you gave me a devil sign.
Oh my God.
One of the lads just did, it's kind of the
rocker.
The rock on
Yeah.
hand signal. And she reacted like he pulled a gun on her. Yeah. Jesus Christ. That's
Don't
the
do
devil.
that.
Don't do that. That's the devil. But apparently she's a local conspiratorial person.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're involved in her next conspiracy.
So we are Satan worshippers, yeah.
Holy God. Now that is, yeah, you're on a different level. See, we didn't have a theme. But then people were talking about themes, and there was one hen they went to, and the theme was dress up as the woman getting married. And I'm like, that could end in disaster.
It's fucking dangerous enough.
How would you? I dressed up as you hammered that time we were 19.
Yeah, I'm not sure how if I was asked to dress up like Justine, I'm not sure what I would dress like.
Yeah, it's a risky game.
Maybe a Den hat, a Guinness jumper.
Solid.
Yeah. Depends if I'm going for like casual Justine or fancy Justine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but again, I'd say a lot of people going to that hen never made the wedding list because that'd end in tears. Genuinely, I don't know how anyone would
like
get
an
involved.
absolute slut.
I think if I had to have any theme, I think a good one would be your first sexual awakening. Come dressed as that.
Come dressed as cum.
I'd be dressing up as Crash Bandicoot, so that would be a fun time.
Oh, I see what you mean. For some reason I thought you meant like sexual experience. But no, sexual awakening.
A sock.
A towel left in the hot press.
I think that'd be a good
Nobody
theme.
used that towel.
I think it'd be a fun theme. You get to see an insight into every person.
Yeah, so you dress up as the thing that they were first attracted to.
Yes.
So Crash Bandicoot, Cadbury's Bunny,
You're seeing a lot of Cadbury's Bunnies.
Jessica Rabbit.
Yes. I think that would be a solid theme.
Who else?
And there'd be a few just like you wouldn't be expecting.
No.
Someone would be coming as
Ray
Dustin
Darcy, yeah.
or Ray Darcy.
Wow, we both went to the den.
Wow. But it's true, there would be.
So Ray Darcy is somebody's sexual awakening.
That's a wild
Yeah,
thing to
he was
think
young.
of.
He was young, he was hot. He was playing with puppets.
Playing puppets, putting his hand up, poles.
It's right up, right up your alley, like.
But yeah, ours was far more. I think we didn't end up in any conspiracies, so that's something that I'm always grateful for. And thankfully, there wasn't a lot of videos. Now, did I put up a few while hammered? Yes. Did I regret that? Yes. But sure, look, that's all part of it.
And deleted them.
Absolutely. The next morning, when I was at the breakfast with everyone, they're like, "You had a few videos there," and I was like, "Did I?
I'll take them down.
I'll get rid of them fairly lively." But it was lovely time now.
Yeah,
Lovely time.
I really did enjoy it. We arrived just right after Trump and Elon broke up.
Yes.
So there was lots of lovely chats.
Yeah.
Straight away, you've got your conversation starter.
Mm-hmm.
For the first 10 minutes, I'm going to talk just about Trump and Elon, you know.
Yeah.
It was an amazing, a spectacular, kind of felt like, do you remember when you were in school and like the two most popular people started going out?
Oh, yeah.
And then they break up and it's like all anyone can talk about in the school.
Yeah.
And because their egos are so big, they feel the need to like talk about it and out the other person online. Mm-hmm. But like this is the only time like where you break up with somebody and when you talk shit about them, like it actually affects the stock market.
Yeah, and the rest of the world.
The rest of the world.
Yeah, very different scale. Yeah, no, that was wild.
It was fucking wild.
It's just pure. He said, it's very schoolyard carry on between the pair of them though also. So very reminiscent of those times.
Like last Thursday, Elon lost 34 billion of his personal fortune in the second biggest single day personal wealth loss ever.
God, who was number one?
34 billion, I don't know, it didn't say. That lad has 14 children.
It's
That lad
wild.
has 14. Will he manage?
Will he manage?
It was hilarious though when you watch him like going in when they first started dating, and like it's like really exciting. Apparently, like also New York Times said that Elon is on a
Ketamine.
cocktail of drugs,
Yeah.
like ketamine and
Yeah,
ecstasy.
and
Which
has
kinda
been
makes
for the
sense.
whole rally. Like.
There was a photograph of his little bag, and
Yeah.
there was more pills in it, like than fucking Kneecaps EP writer. It was just packed with pills.
Yeah.
And then when you look at all the shit he was doing, like you would probably act that mad if you were on ketamine and pills.
Yeah, every single
in
day.
front of like a load of people at a rally.
Yeah.
It's like Star Jump, Heil Hitler, fucking chainsaw.
Yeah.
And then a couple of weeks later, you've got a black eye and you're been handed a key and told to fuck off.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild.
Completely. Yeah. No, it's deranged. But they said that the reason they suspected then, and it was because he was having severe bladder problems, and that's one of the side effects of
doing a lot of ketamine.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, absolutely unhinged.
I don't know. I'd never met a horse who said good things about ketamine.
No. That's
So it's
saying a lot.
it's used for relaxing horses to wank them off, is it?
I wouldn't be certain now. I wouldn't be...
It's not used to get them hard. It's just used for like getting them chill.
Chill. Yeah,
Right.
I'm not sure now.
I don't know.
I
I'd be
don't want
afraid
to
if I
speak
took it at a
ill.
party, somebody would wank me off. That's the last thing you want.
Or a horse would.
A horse would come in.
I'd say, yeah, they want to
Not
get
with-
their vengeance.
Not with them hooves.
Yeah.
Like if I
It's
was to
not gonna
pick an
end well.
instrument to like be a nice warm instrument for like pulling you off, a pair of hooves would be the last thing I'd pick.
Lovely stuff.
This show is part of HeadStuff Podcasts. Here's another show you might like.
Fad Camp is back with an all-new season of our comedy podcast about diet culture.
In our 6th season, we've already covered topics such as protein mania, which is sweeping the nation, the infamous Channel 4 show Secret Eaters, as well as the topic, where has all the plus-size clothing gone?
Listen now on headstuffpodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Great first hand.
Yeah, but they were talking then as well about people that like they knew of engagements and stuff that people, the people who go to Disney.
Yeah, I have to say I fucking love Disney.
Yeah, I think I'd be more universal.
Yeah, me too. It's more adulty.
Yeah.
He got your Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
He got your Back to the Future.
The thing with Disney is as well, I've seen videos of people mid-propose and then they get tackled by the staff. Being
Goofy.
like, you're not allowed, Goofy tackles them, being like, you're not allowed to propose here.
You're not allowed to pose. Why? It's the most happiest place on earth.
Because there's certain parts of the park that they're like, if someone starts proposing here, this is going to be a queue every day for this area to propose at.
Right.
They like got onto one of the big podiums where Cinderella's meant to dance.
She has her job to do.
She
as
has
well.
her own.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
the slipper that needs
She
to
has
go
her own
missing.
issues.
She does. Lost a shoe.
Well, wait. So you go to what? You'd propose in front of Jaws, is it?
Do you know what? I was thinking about this. I couldn't deal with, the whole public proposal stuff now.
No, it's insane.
It's not for me.
It's so insane.
If someone brought me to a public area, right, and they were mid-propose, I'd be like, can you just go and turn off the camera? Because I know you fucking clearly set up a camera to do this and gather people around and I can't handle this.
No judgment. I probably have lots of friends who've done it.
If I had the camera footage...
Me speaking personally, I think it's a cunty move.
You're additional pressure.
It's a lot of pressure on the woman to say yes.
I know.
And also, I think it's a bit of an ego trip.
It'd be lovely to have the footage if it all goes well. You know what I mean? Like, as in if someone's proposing to me and I'm like, this is the moment I want to remember. Great, we have that on footage. Don't know if I want to share it with the world, but I love that we have it.
And I think 80% of proposals that happen, definitely in this country, if anything, they've talked about it beforehand.
Yes, that's the norm now.
Or if anything, have been kind of pressured into it. You're like, when's it going to happen, Clyde? So you probably know what your spouse to be is going to say. But,
I know, but I don't like that. I hate that there's that element is gone now of the actual surprise of
I
it.
met you 6 months ago in a dance hall in Longford, and now
look at us now.
Now we're going to buy a house in Meath.
Yeah, I don't know. Once you have that conversation,
I bought a house for £6,000. Yeah, like them old days.
Once you start having the conversation, should we get married? I'm kind of like, oh, you needn't bother proposing now. We've kind of lost the element of surprise from it.
Oh, well, that's too many Disney films.
Isn't it? Yeah, it has it ruined. Because even they were talking about the whole thing of, would you take your partner's name? And I don't know where I stand on that, Kevin. Because personally, the only reason I think I'd take it is because I'd use it as a threat. Because if you fuck me over in this marriage, well, Justine Stafford isn't going to darken your name in this town.
No.
But you bet your bottom dollar Justine O'Reilly is.
Yeah, Justine O'Reilly's a fucking pup. Jesus, Justine O'Reilly was in here. Who's she? She's Stafford. No.
O'Reilly. She's O'Reilly.
She's one of the O'Reillys. Yeah, what would you do? Go and take
steal
out big
car.
credit union loans and never pay them back.
Yeah, you never give
Steal
back.
a car.
Yeah, steal a car.
Get sick
Smash the windows of it. Like, I'm talking, he's done something unforgivable here. Like,
Yeah,
you
sure.
know, the relationship's over. I'm just going to have one last...
Check into a hotel, piss into the kettle.
Yeah.
Leave it there. Or the iron, God forbid. Nobody ever replaced the water in the iron.
Jesus. God, that makes me sad now, because sometimes if I'm stuck in a hotel, I like to make toast on the iron. And now I'm scared that someone's pissed
once
in
I
the iron.
reheated a pizza using an iron in a hotel in Westport.
The things you pick up now, you can't... And I'd say that was lovely, heated up on it.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
Reheat a burrito in a trouser press.
Never done that now. Don't even know. If you had just the tortilla wrap, maybe that would work on the trouser press.
No, I mean, you could do a panini or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, do a panini.
A burrito, yeah, I hear you now. Yeah.
Just reheat it like.
Decent.
But an iron is pizza shaped, so it's perfect. You'd have to do it individually. Like, you wouldn't do it for like a dinner party.
No. I don't know what you're having a dinner party in your hotel room.
COVID.
This is where I live.
COVID times.
This is where I live.
We were talking earlier about breakup stories. I found a breakup story sent from Fluffy Sugar Floss.
Oh.
I was looking for bad breakup stories.
Oh, Lord.
Boyfriend dropped me before our Debs. I assume broke up, not like dropped you out of the first story.
Getting out of the limo to go to the Debs drops me. Day ruined.
Boyfriend dropped me before our Debs and invited my best friend's little sister.
Oh, Jesus.
Dad had booked a limo for Debs as part of my birthday gift. When I said he and his new partner should find another way to the Debs, our friend group said I was petty and they would all go with them.
Stop.
What a shit group
You've
of friends.
been let down by your fella and now you're friends.
Now you're friends.
You need better friends. You deserve better.
So her best friend's little sister starts going to him.
That's two layers
so
of fucked.
there's too many people in this. So I caved. At the after party held in my best friend's house, her mother said, "It'd be best if you leave as you're making people uncomfortable."
Jesus.
As I left in a taxi, the mother pushed two drunk male friends on me, saying they couldn't stay either. In the taxi, the guys tell me I was dumped as the younger sister was hotter than me. Even the taxi driver felt sorry for me. Then Dad had to help me put the drunk guys to bed in the spare room. Several years later, he messaged me to ask if it was okay that he asked my sister out. Years later, he messaged me to ask if it was okay if he asked my little sister out. Now, fuck me.
This lad.
That poor woman.
He's in your spectrum there.
Yeah.
That lad's in the fucking
spectrum.
stage 3. Here. You're taking the
Oh,
piss.
right, yeah. That's fully on taking the piss. That's taking the piss to
the extreme.
Almost like Hitler wouldn't chance a move like that.
That's
like Mussolini wouldn't pull.
That's a wild move.
Do you mind if I ask your sister?
Yeah.
Would it be cool? I know we've had some issues in the past.
Absolute dog.
I can't think of a worse Deb story. I think that's the worst Deb story I've ever heard.
But also, she's been ganged up on by everyone involved.
Yeah.
The adults. At least the taxi man had a bit of decency about him. But that's saying a lot about your friends and their parents as well.
I mean, the nicest man of the night was the taxi driver home.
Jesus.
Yeah. Pretty bad. Have you any bad breakup stories?
Yeah. Have I not told you this one? This is horrific.
Which one? You probably have.
This is
You've gone very serious.
Okay, yeah. Look at someone was very young. Look at, in fairness, right? But asked me out, and I was like, no, I think we're better off being friends. That was all well and good, Kevin. But then after that, kind of got the vibe. Oh, he thinks we're together
romantic,
now.
Yeah.
We're together now. So look at. We used to always meet up, and we were friends. We'd meet up and go for walks, and he'd always bring his dog, and we'd hang out and run in the fields. This is how innocent of times it was, Kevin. Right?
Did you run across bales of hay and stuff like that?
Yeah, literally. So
build bale snowmen.
So I was like, look, I'm gonna have to put a stop to this. So I met up with him, and we met where we normally do, and he had the dog with him, and I was like, look, I just don't think this is right anymore. I don't think we should be friends because it obviously means more to you. And he said, but Justine, without you, my dog is my only friend. And Kevin...
Now, how was the dog reacting to it?
Kevin, at that moment, a car came down the road and the dog ran in front of the car and got hit.
Oh my God.
So I think the dog's reaction was like, well, I'm fucking out of here. The dog's eye burst. There was blood. And the guy started screaming, naturally. These strangers put him and the dog into the car and drove off, and I was left on the side of the road thinking, well, I'm the worst fucking person going. Wow. Like, it was genuinely like a movie scene. I was like, this cannot have actually just happened.
See, if that happened to me, I would genuinely think, like, am I the devil?
No, that's exactly what I thought.
Did I just kill his dog with my mind?
No. Thankfully, a week later, I got the update. The dog was still alive. And I was like, well, thank
Did you have to wear an eye patch?
For that. I think he lost the eye.
Does he wear sunglasses or an eye patch?
I never saw him after to know.
See, if I was you, I'd buy him a nice eye patch like, is it Gabrielle used to have?
Yeah.
A studded eye patch.
It'd be hard to keep the sunglasses on a dog anyway.
But he would look cool. He'd look like a dog in a beer ad.
Yeah.
Spuds McKenzie.
But yeah, that's probably the worst one that I have, and that traumatized me for years, that I was like, I'm not actually going to ever go on a date with anyone. Like,
I think if that happened in a show, it'd just be like, this needs a rewrite. Like, this is not believable.
Happen. Exactly.
Wow. God, Trump and Elon, it looks small compared to that.
So, and that was my first...
You never see JD Vance running into traffic, like losing an eye.
And that was my that was my first ever experience with doing something like that. So I was like, well, I'm just never going to be with anyone, because that would be better than that ever happening again.
I'm never standing up to for myself again.
No, Wow. So that would leave a mark, and it did. So I don't know if you're ever going to top that story, Kevin, as your breakup stories.
That is pretty bad. But yeah, if you've any people at home, if you've got any awful breakup stories or even bad dating stories, please send them into the Lovely Show podcast at gmail.com.
Yes.
If you can beat Justine's...
Yeah, top that.
If you can top Justine's dog murder psychopath telekinesis story, please do get in touch.
I mean, yeah, it's just, like 2 years ago, a lad ended with me because he said he wanted to have a hot girl summer.
A hot girl summer?
Yeah. 35-year-old man.
What does that mean? Like, just date a load of hot girls?
He wants to.
I mean,
surely, I didn't fit that criteria.
Surely there's a better way to say that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Same guy that said to me, don't know if I ever told you this line, same guy who had said to me, and I should have ended it with him at this point, who said to me, does your mother have shit tits too?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So maybe I'm to blame there that I didn't end it first.
Yeah, you sound like a bit of a cunt magnet.
But look, I'm afraid to end things because dogs run into traffic. So...
God, imagine if you had a child. Jump off a building. Well, I'm out.
Well, he's off on his hot girl summer anyway, so...
So hot girl summer, was that a thing a couple of years ago?
There was a trend on social media of like having a hot girl summer where you're
a
single girl.
There was a white boy somewhere there for a while, wasn't there?
That must be them jumping off the back of it. Yeah.
There was Tom Hanks' crap son.
Oh, Chevy or whatever.
Chevy Hanks.
Chevy Hanks. It's a Chav. Chase, Chaz, Tresemme.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember his fucking name. But yeah, he was like, recorded the story. He goes, I don't know about you guys, but I tell you, I'm feeling it. There's going to be white boy summer.
Do you know how God love Tom Hanks now? Imagine you're Tom Hanks and that's your son.
Imagine if you're literally renowned for being like the nicest man in the world and your son is a thunder and break.
Yeah.
But Colin seems like a lovely chap.
Yeah, more normal. Look, there are... that's just going to happen, isn't it?
It's going to happen. If you have too many kids, one of them's going to be a dickhead anyway.
Quit while you're ahead.
That's
my logic with it.
I'm training my lad now to use the potty.
Oh.
And it's tough going. I basically just have a little boy who spends half his time piddling on the carpet. Like specifically, he's like, I'll do a wee here. You're like, it's literally the last place that won't wipe up. That and playing with himself.
But you know what?
But you look at...
You'll never get that
He didn't lick that off the grass.
The one thing, it's a lovely moment in life though. Do you remember when you were applauded because you pissed in a toilet? That moves away fairly quick. At 3 years old, you'd be like, Mom, I did a piss in the toilet, and everyone was delighted.
Everyone is so happy for you.
Why are we not still celebrating that? Especially as I get older. Sometimes I'm like, if I stand up too soon, there's a chance. it's still going. You know?
You have to get more shakes as you get older.
I think it'd be nice to bring that back.
Yeah. You put him on the bench, but he still wants to dribble. It's a basketball reference.
Yeah.
Although it's at the same time, I'd say if you were rotten drunk at a hen party and like so drunk you can't walk, and you come back to the girls, you're like, girls, I did a wee wee in the toilet.
There would
like,
be.
Hey,
what song do you want put on?
give it
This
up for
one's for
Justine.
you. Tell the DJ. He's going to announce it to the whole club. Beautiful. Just when you mentioned like kids in school, right? I saw this the other day, and truly this brought back. Okay, right. So it's just the picture of all the covers you have on your books. But tell me which one. They're asking which colours you put for subjects. And specifically they asked what colour was blue. Now, I don't know if you did this.
Oh my God, no. So we've got multicolours. We got...
For your folders.
We got red, orange, yellow, green, blue and purple.
Now, green for me was Irish. Because it's green.
Because fair enough, okay.
Red for me was English. Can't explain why.
Danger.
Yeah. Blue was maths.
Yeah.
They were the three for me now.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go for geography. I'm going to go yellow.
Yellow, yeah.
It's colour of the sun, colour of corn.
Yeah. I think I would have had yellow as science, but I can't even explain why I had it as science. There's no logic to this.
See, I would put orange for English.
Fair. Very fair.
And red I would have went for art, I think, actually. I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't really have...
You didn't have that, yeah.
I didn't really have colour coordinated.
You weren't a nerd like me.
I wasn't a nerd like you.
No, I was like, this will help.
I sort of shoved everything in the bag.
Yeah.
Dumped it
Hope
out
for the
at end.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was very much colour coded everything. And even with highlighters, your eye is naturally more drawn to a specific colour in highlighters. So yellow was my one. And if I highlighted in yellow, I would retain that information better than any other colour. Mm-hmm. I was such a level of nerd, it scares me sometimes.
Yeah, I did glaze over when you were talking there for a second, I'm not going to lie.
And that stuff still fascinates me. And yet I'm like, Justine, you were such a nerd.
Had you any relationships in school?
Oh God, no. Sixth year now, I started to try and come out of my box, but like I was, very popularly known as a frigid. It was no secret.
Justine the frigid.
Justine the frigid. Mm-hmm. The nerd frigid. Yeah, the nerd frigid.
Justine the nerd or Justine the frigid? No, that's the same person.
They just say, oh, I didn't know that.
Wow, I didn't think anyone could possess both those qualities so strongly.
She's going to go far. She'll have a hot girl summer some year.
Apparently she did very badly in the Leaving Cert though.
Not true. That is so untrue.
Really? Did you do well?
I got 560.
Fuck me.
And I was disappointed with that. I wouldn't open my results. As in, I thought I failed. That's another mad story. I thought I was that bollocks who always asked for more paper. I was that bollocks. Every head would turn. And I was like, yeah, I know what I am. I hate myself too. But I didn't get to finish English paper 1. And I fully broke down being like, I'm just not going to do the rest of Leaving Cert because I've ruined it. I'm going to fail English, which means I failed my Leaving Cert. I'm going to have to do it next year anyway, so fuck it, I'm not doing it. To the point that I went home and my mom had to ring the principal to be like, yeah, Justine's not going to do Leaving Cert. She said she's going to do it next year now. And he was like, she can come in and talk to me tomorrow. So I had to go back into the school, went into English paper 2 crying, being like, there's no point to this. And like the examiner was handing out the paper, being like, are you okay? And I'm bawling, being like, yeah, no, I'm fine. And I wrote an apology to the examiner saying I messed up my time management yesterday. Like, my level of nerd is scary. I wrote an apology to the examiner and then
here's €200.
No, finished paper 1 on paper 2. I was like, here are the 2 questions I didn't get to finish yesterday. And I did not stop writing from the second that exam started to the very end. I got an A2 in English.
Wow.
Like, deluded.
I had to deduct you 1 mark because you were so lame.
Because your tears were stained on the sheet.
I remember thinking about this a while ago. For my English story, you just had to make up a story.
You'd always try to find a way that the theme still makes sense.
It opened with, I awoke eating a Mars bar on a toilet.
That was the sentence you were given.
No. That's the sentence I
right. Yours always.
I can't remember what my parameters were, but like I woke up, I gained consciousness, and I was eating Mars bar on a toilet in an airplane, and I had to try and piece together what I was doing. And I was like, "How did I get here?" And I'm like looking through. I look outside, and there's people like terrified, and some people are tied up, and I realised, oh, I'm a terrorist.
Jesus.
And I'm going to kill the president in America.
This is the story you wrote.
The story I wrote for my Oxford English is me crashing a plane into the White House.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And this was pre 9/11.
No, this is after 9/11.
Oh, was it after?
Yeah,
Okay,
I would have been
okay.
inspired by
Because I was like,
But I remember thinking like, that is a good story. I feel like if that happened now, you'd be on a list or something.
Yeah. You'd be brought in.
You'd be brought in.
There'd be a red button on the table pressed fairly lively.
Yeah. If in America, you'd just be arrested.
Yeah.
Just be like, we need to arrest this.
But depends on the examiner you get, because one night could be like, fair play to him.
It was well written.
Yeah.
It was excellent composition. Didn't see the end coming.
But I had one story learned off, and you just find a way to make it work. I trying to come up with something from
For
imagination?
A fictional story?
Yeah, I had the one thing learned off, and that was going to make it in, regardless of what that sheet said to write about.
Wow. No, I like to sort of make it up on the spot. It's
No,
fun
I could
seeing
never.
where's this going to end up?
As
I'm
a nerd,
terrorist.
the unpredicted. Oh my God, I could never. And it's sad when I look back, because how much pressure I put on myself, and because of how much pressure the school put on. And I don't mean our school specifically, the whole school system. The pressure you're put under of this exam, it determines the rest of your life. It's the most important thing you'll ever do. And I'm like, that is absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
Had I known when I came out the other side, I could do a PLC if I wanted. I could have done a level if I wanted to get into level 8. And if I was back there again, I wouldn't have even have done film and broadcasting in college, because I learned the most from volunteering and going on sets myself. And that's where you get the actual experience. Now,
in the field.
I definitely needed to go to college and move out, and made incredible friends and all that. So that was good. But in terms of the course contents, questionable for my future.
Yeah, no, I didn't really take it that seriously now.
Yeah, I regret. If I could go back, I'd go back and just have the crack in school. But I find it, when people are every year when the Leaving Cert roll around, they're kind of like, oh, don't worry about it. It's not that important. I'm like, okay, you can fucking advise to a 16, 17-year-old as much as you want, but you remember when you were 16, 17, you can't take advice from someone who's older, because they don't understand what you're going through, and you've never experienced the future to know that this actually isn't that important. I just think I hate when people do that, of like, even advice to younger me. I'm like, yeah, you can give the advice to younger you, but younger you never would have taken that advice, because it would have been like, you don't understand.
No,
you don't understand what I'm going through.
Everyone needs to make their own mistakes.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff.
Did you see Liam Cunningham and Conor McGregor had a Twitter spat?
Yes, I did. It was beautiful.
Just to reiterate what Liam Cunningham said. So this is about the boat that a few people, activists and Greta Thunberg, were heading over to Gaza to deliver much needed aid to children. They were intercepted. Liam Cunningham, the Freedom Flotilla. The Freedom Flotilla. Sorry, it sounds like a sort of a Mexican dish.
It does. It does.
The Freedom Flotilla was attacked during the night. The ship was rammed, boarded, and the 12 volunteers kidnapped. This is more reprehensible behaviour from the genocidal regime in Tel Aviv. Conor McGregor, I thought you were on the boat, Liam. What happened? You forgot your goggles. Did you get seasick off the gargle? Bottler. And then Liam Cunningham said, didn't know you could read or write, Conor. Thought you used your hands to tap out. And then Conor deleted his message.
Like, that's the biggest win you can have.
Imagine literally been called out for tapping out, and then you tap out of the conversation where you've been called to tap
it's a
out.
rarity for him to delete tweets, so to have achieved that is absolutely gold.
Very impressed with Liam Cunningham.
Yeah.
But what is the thing with, like, especially Greta Thunberg has this thing where, like, middle-aged men fucking hate her.
Yeah.
Like, they hate her for talking about, climate change. They hate her talking about Israel. Is it like a guilt? Because, like, I'm pretty much a middle-aged man now. And, like, we live in a world where, like, yeah, we're probably destroying the planet. I'm not really doing anything about it. And I feel guilty about it and shame. And I should be doing stuff. Same with Gaza. I'm not doing anything about it. I feel guilt and shame. And I wish I could do something, but I'm not doing anything. So then when, like, a tiny girl who's half your age starts, like, saying this is what we should do, is it like, now I feel guilty and now I fucking hate you for making me feel guilty? Is that it?
Well, I think a huge part of it is also a woman.
It's misogyny.
Yes, completely. And for a woman to be telling me what to do and how I should live in my life, how fucking dare you? And that is just, sadly, such a part of it, as well as additionally, I think what you're saying
and
is
true. And it takes bravery. I wouldn't fucking get in a boat and go to Gaza and fuck with the IDF. That terrified me.
Completely.
So I think for a lot of men, seeing seeing like what age is she now? She's probably
23.
Is she?
I think 23.
A 23-year-old woman doing it. The easy route is to just go fuck her. She's a silly little girl.
Yeah, it's
really shameful.
horrific. It is. It's absolutely horrific.
Fucking fair play to her.
Yeah, completely. But again, it's just fucking internet.
And
it's just given an opportunity to the worst types of people to be able to vocalize every single thought that they have.
Yeah.
And it is the worst side to the internet that people were given this access to freedom of speech.
I said this before, Justine. If you set up an Instagram account or a Twitter account and after 5 years you have less than 100 people following you, your license is reneged.
Yeah.
You lose your license. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, nobody is listening to you.
Yeah.
Everything you say is shit.
And
And I'm sorry, but you're not adding to the conversation.
And you'll see those
so-
accounts where they have fucking 3 people following them, but they're following 19,000. And you're like, yeah, not really seeing the ratios adding up here. Do you know any humans in your life? It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
But then a great thing I saw on the internet the other day was an ad for Denny sausages. And it got me thinking, Kevin, do people go into the Denny sausages ads thinking this might...
Is this you working in... It seemed like you were like seamlessly working in an ad here.
No, I'm not working in
Are
an
you
ad
getting
at
paid
all.
under the table for Denny?
Oh, I
No,
wish.
I know what you're going to say. Go on.
Do you think people go into the Denny's ads now thinking this is going to
I'm
be the
the
start of
next-
my career?
I'm gonna-
I'm the next Paul
Yeah.
Mescal.
Do you think like that's how Paul Mescal got Gladiator? Ridley Scott was like, I was looking at an ad for Denny's sausages, and I was like, give me that boy, the
Honestly.
sausage Paul.
Honestly, though, if I got cast in a Denny ad, I can't say it won't be in the back of my head thinking, today this could be.
See, if it was me, they're like, so the offer is 18 grand.
Mhm.
That's for 2 years usage, Kevin. I'd be like, pay me in sausages. No, well, we don't really work that well. Pay me in sausages. Pay me in sausages. Well, it's quite a substantial amount of money. We're willing to go 20 grand for 2 years usage. That includes internet, right? I just want sausages every day.
I want the bacon.
I want the bacon. I want the sausage. I want them delivered to my house every single day for the rest of my
Yeah.
life. That's it. Keep her money.
Yeah. Hard not to take that deal now.
I'd fucking take that deal.
But I
I'd buy
would.
that for $1.
I'd be going into that advert kind of looking at it that way. I have an incredible video to show you.
Go on.
It is, look, we've talked about this before, about farm safety, okay?
I love farm safety videos.
I mean, they're traumatizing, but a man in Monaghan went to give the kids a talk about farm safety. And he's straight to the point, and it is
No messing about.
absolutely zero messing here. I don't know if I should just play this video and we can figure out, it's just how he speaks about it all. There's some great lines.
This story, witches.
The farmyard is not a school playground. Yes, it's a fantastic place to spend time, to have fun, to enjoy yourself, but it's also really important
So
to
he's got
understand that there are risks
a massive dummy filled with hay, and he's wrapped it around
my
the
name is
PTO
Niamh Monaghan,
shaft.
and I'm a primary school teacher and part-time farmer from St. Aig's National School in Eskeen. So the idea for today's event,
PTO shafts are terrifying.
We're in a rural
For any
community here in Eskeen,
non-cultures listening,
and we have children from rural backgrounds,
Pause it for a sec.
from agricultural backgrounds, and from it's a
So we can't actually pause. For any non-culties listening, a PTO shaft is essentially like if you imagine a penis sticking out of the back of the tractor.
Yeah.
That sort of runs every machine and it spins around
At an
faster than
insane
fuck.
speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to wear a Johnny over it to protect yourself, basically.
Yeah.
A plastic Johnny.
And
And if you got your hand wrapped in it, lad, your hand would look like a fucking curly whirly.
Yeah, you'd be lucky if it was still attached to you.
You would. So
So-
this, to teach kids about this, they've stuffed a hazmat suit filled with straw and they've just let him get wrapped up and he just went into bits.
So I think they've stepped it up a notch from we got shown the video, but now we're going 3D with it. We're bringing the people in to talk to us and we're seeing it in real live action in front of us.
Mhm.
And I just think the man giving this talk is incredible because he's straight to the point with the facts.
Eskeen in County Monaghan, and we have children from rural backgrounds, from agricultural backgrounds and from non-agricultural backgrounds, and we felt that it was really, really important that children of all ages
Even
and
townies.
all backgrounds got
Townies
the
are brought
chance
in.
to experience farm safety.
Would you like to be Dig? No, you're not. There wouldn't be a whole pile left, you would though?
So we really
Would
wanna
you
make
like
sure
to be
that the children
dead?
here today-
No, you would not.
No, you would not.
There wouldn't be a whole pile left of you.
Wouldn't be. You'd be in bits on the floor. We'd have to pick you up with a scooper. We'd have to pick you up with a dustpan so we wouldn't put you into a plastic bag.
Game over, ball burst. That is the best.
Would you like to be dead?
That's the best opening line to any
good.
safety demonstration you could imagine.
I was rewatching the Star Wars prequels,
Okay.
and it struck me in the first 5 minutes of Star Wars ever, there are 2 Northern Irish actors.
Jesus.
The very first line in any Star Wars film, which is episode 1, is Brona Gallagher, who's from the North.
Okay.
And then who do you have in coming in? Liam Neeson.
Stop.
Also from the North. And it struck me that we should have had more North of Ireland accents in the Star Wars universe. If you look at the old films in the 70s and 80s, the Imperial Boys, they were basically based on kind of a mixture between Nazis and the Brits. Because they dress like Nazis, sound like Brits. But they all have this very received pronunciation, clipped British accent.
Yeah.
Miss Princess Leia, I was wondering when you would arrive.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of representing the military class of, England throughout the centuries. They're missing Nordy accents.
Oh, totally.
In that, because you know the way, like, you'd have Unionists who would go and join the British Army.
Yeah.
And you'd see it in the odd war film, like, some lad are mad. So I just wanted, like, the Emperor. I think the Emperor should have had like an accent like fucking Paisley.
Yeah.
Like, as you can see, my young apprentice, your friends have failed. Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station. Wouldn't that be class?
That would be unreal.
More Nordies in
Film.
In Star Wars.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I can't give you a funny comeback because I've never seen a Star Wars film in my life.
Ever?
I have zero intention to ever. At this point in my life, I've made it this far without
You're not going to be bothered unless you're going out with some nerd who's like, you haven't seen them? Please, Justine, sit down for 9 hours.
I feel like I'd take the risk of his dog running in front of a car to end that because I just know it wouldn't be for me.
Chewbacca, no!
If I've ended up in that situation, that's a bad start,
Justine, we've been informed that this is our 1 year anniversary.
Yes! I didn't even realise till got a message saying, I hope you are enjoying your celebrations.
We have something big planned. As a present, I have got you this
magic beans
bar of soap I've made using my own bath water.
That is going to be worth a few bob now.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, the kids were in as well.
Oh, right, okay.
And
that's nice. You got the family involved.
A lot of piddling was going on.
Yeah.
It was quite yellow by the end of it.
Prior to the potty training.
Prior to the potty training. So that's a little gift for you. You don't have to get me anything.
Oh, well, look at it. I mean, this right here is a beautiful little Cork coaster.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
I just saw it and I thought of you.
All the way from Cork.
Yeah.
So we want to give a big thank you.
Thank you
to all our lovely listeners. You've been lovely.
Fucking much for all your love and support.
Lovely messages, lovely questions. Keep them coming. And thanks very much. Without you, we'd just be two mentalers talking to each other in a shed.
In a shed. Yeah. And maybe we'd be happy in our own little way.
We'd be happy in our own little way. Sure, everyone did their bit. Justine, thank you very much.
Yeah. I'll raise my bottle to you here.
Hey.
Who's launch it?
Listeners, thank you very much.
Thank you so
much. We'll see you
much.
next week for another lovely, lovely show.
You will surely.
So talented. They'd make you sick.
This show is part of the HeadStuff Podcast Network, a hub for the creative and the curious. Shows are produced in association with HeadStuff and the Podcast Studios Dublin. Find out more or become a member at headstuffpodcasts.com.